Ask my valet to turn the heat on.
Aircon now on.
Oh yeah, that's the way we're going to be starting every morning from now on. We've got to get you off to forest school in a minute, haven't we, Jasper? I'm going to try and go for a quick run. It's another gorgeous day, but I need to get new shoes before I run outside, really. Otherwise, this blister on my foot's just going to go. So yeah, I'm going to have to hold off on running outside until I've got some better shoes. Because I've got indoor shoes, but those are the indoor ones that I like to wear on the running machine, and I try not to mix my indoor and outdoor shoes. Right, let's head on out, Jazzy.
I do it.
Just gonna grab the world's quickest run. Short, but fun. Skateboard fits in the front. What a crazy mad rush! Oh, almost spilled my coffee. That wouldn't be so good. So the topic of today is going to be Lucid. Specifically the Lucid Air, which looks like a really interesting car, and it seems to actually be a genuine prospect, something that's actually going to happen. And if you go to their website, you can find that you can now reserve one of the Founder Edition cars, I think they call them. Now, to reserve one of those costs $25,000, and I think the actual car will be something like $100,000. For $2,500, you can reserve one of the later cars, and they start at about $60,000. It's actually not a half bad price for what is a 400 brake horsepower electric vehicle that's designed from the ground up to be an electric vehicle. One of the things that really struck me when you look at the specs, if the mainstream manufacturers don't really start getting a move on, they are going to, some of them at least, are going to wind up going bust. Because this is a startup business pretty much, and they're going to have this Lucid Air, a very compelling and competitively priced for its position in the market electric vehicle, and it's going to be on sale probably from something like 2019, which is about the same year that people like Jaguar and BMW and Mercedes and Audi are expecting to have their longer range or long range EV offerings in about the same sort of price point. A startup is keeping pace effectively when it comes to EVs with some of the largest and best established premium car makers in the world. It's just totally nuts. Just to increase the insanity one notch further, of course, then you've got Tesla, that as far as I can tell is a whole step ahead. They're going to have a compelling long range EV for the next price point down. There is great change on the way. I think it's a long time coming. I think for far too many decades, let alone years. Not exactly the world's most innovative and fast-paced industry. It's going to be an interesting few years. I like interesting. That was a very long drive. Much longer than it should have been, because the traffic was awful.
Right,
Good boy. Not sure what he's doing. Exercise, maybe. Now this is one of those times when a button is really helpful. Admittedly, people that don't vlog regularly perhaps don't have quite such a need for a power lift gate, but it certainly helps me. Yup. Oh goodness me, these bags are heavy. Yeah, so Lucid. It doesn't mean just because they're aiming at, you know, the more sort of premium end of the market that they're not going to be of benefit to the EV movement. Every time a really desirable car is powered by electricity alone, the EV stock, if you like, goes up. That's what will lead other manufacturers to actually make sure that they have decent EV offerings, which is of course what we all want to see. Gotta say, I do actually really like the look of the Lucid car. I do find it funny the way they've got self-driving hardware, but no word on when that's actually going to work, because self-driving is difficult. I would imagine they're going to need to buy it off the shelf from somebody else, which in fairness is exactly the same thing they're doing with their battery cells. They're getting them from Samsung SDI. There are going to be quite a large number of battery options though. You can have a 250-mile range all the way up to 400 miles, which would be very impressive. I would imagine they've not actually got the cells sorted for that just yet, but I'm sure it'll come in time. And the power these cars are going to have, that is quite something. For example, I think the base one is 400 brake horsepower, which is not dissimilar to the horsepower in my Tesla Model S just over there. The top spec one is going to have a ridiculous 1000 brake horsepower. I mean, that really is just totally mental. I'm going to put this camera down now and finish having some fun on my board, and then I'm going to go in and make coffee. How exciting, so back. Right, okie doke. Oh. The editing for tomorrow is now actually half done, so I'm getting well ahead at the moment. And we're having Chinese for dinner. Yeah! Food time! Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't get 2 lots of something. You got 2 lots of something.
Ah, well, that was a yummy meal. Good old spring rolls and chicken chow mein. One thing very quickly that I'm just going to mention before I sign off for the day. I've just read that Honda have come clean on the reason why they've created an 80-mile EV version of the Clarity. They are not really in the business of thinking EVs are the future. Basically, they're building the car for the early adopter Nissan Leaf crowd as a sort of an upgrade from that, presumably, but not in terms of range. And they think that if somebody wants more range and doesn't mind hunting for a hydrogen station, then you should go for the fuel cell. And if you want really long range with a bit of electrifiedness, you want the plug-in hybrid. I think they're totally nuts. They've totally missed the boat. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come back and bite them some point in the future. It is now time for me to say goodbye for the day because it's late. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye. If you're going to make sort of a more mass market TV, you do need a very serious battery factory setup. And as far as I can tell, Lucid don't have that. They are going to be sort of niche, small numbers, small manufacturers, that sort of thing.